everyone, and welcome to my February wrap-up. So I uploaded my February TBR really late, and there's a couple of reasons. The first is that we had a lot of videos to upload, and the second is that I moved houses, so our internet is sucking really badly, so I had to go and upload this in my university. So yeah, let's get talking about my February wrap-up. I read a total of almost 10 books because one of the books I read like half of it in January and the other half in February. So pretty good. I'm happy, except that I was supposed to do something that was part of my resolution that I ended up not doing. But there's one more day left for February since it's the 27th right now. So I'm hoping that I will read a big chunk of that book tomorrow, even though it's Friday, and that's very unlikely, but I'm being optimistic here. And let's get started. The first is The Magician's Guild, the first book in the Black Magician trilogy by Trudy Canavan. My friend Esma really loves this trilogy, and she told me to read this. Unfortunately, this book was so boring, especially like the first half. And I ended up giving it 3 stars, but she told me that the trilogy gets better and that the first book is like the slowest and the dullest. So if I end up getting my hands on the sequel or the third book, then I'll think about continuing it. But for now, I'm going to take a break from this. The second book that I read is obviously not Vampire Academy because I read that in January, but it's a second book, so Frostbite. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me because I gave it to my friend. She's also reading it, and so we're kind of like reading together. I read Frostbite. I really enjoyed it. I actually read it before watching the movie. So yeah, I ended up giving it 4 stars because I don't know why I did not like it as much as I liked Vampire Academy. A lot of people loved Frostbite more, but for me, I really enjoyed Vampire Academy. So I ended up giving Frostbite 4 stars. The next book, which is actually the book that I only read half of it in February, is Ignite Me by Tahira Mafi. I already did a live show with a couple of cool people, and I'll leave the link below to our live show, which is around an hour and 45 minutes. And yeah, we discussed this book so very much that I'm just so over discussing it. I've had separate discussions with a couple of my friends that were reading it. To be exact, there was Bana, there was Esma, there was Lubna, and there was Adib, and there's still another person that's currently reading it. So I got a lot of my friends hooked on this trilogy. So yes, I just talked so much about this trilogy. Love it to death. Not death, obviously, but you know, I really love it. And I gave this one 5 stars, all-time favorite. Next book that I read is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This was part of the TOG read-along that was hosted by Lainey. I have had this for a very long time, and I thought, you know, a read-along would be the perfect chance to pick this up. So I did. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I was kind of disappointed in the storytelling. I mean, I was looking for something that would be equivalent to Shadow and Bone, so that would have... Maybe it's my fault for expecting too much, but I initially thought that my biggest problem with this book was that she didn't really feel like an assassin, like the baddest or the like, you know, the scariest assassin or the best assassin in the whole country. It just felt a bit unreal, and I actually do want to do a review of this, non-spoiler, so I guess I'll talk more about this in my non-spoiler review. But yes, I got a lot of beef with this book, but overall I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars, but I have a problem. This is a 6-book series. I did not know this. If I knew it was a 6-book series, I would not have started it because this finishes in 2017 and I don't want to think about how old I will be in 2017, so let's drop it. Next book that I read is The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. I actually just finished this an hour ago, and this was in my top 15 contemporaries that I was waiting for in this year, 2014. And this is my 3rd Jennifer E. Smith book, actually. I have read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, as well as This Is What Happy Looks Like. And how can I say this? I feel like there's something missing in her books. I know a lot of people love them and think they're like the Anna, the next Anna, and I don't have any problem with whatever you're saying. It's just that I personally feel that when I'm reading the books, that I feel like there's something missing in them, this spark, this thing that makes them addicting, and I don't feel that in these books. I was trying to give her another chance with this book, and I was really excited for the premise. Like, it sounded really cool. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I will talk more about this in my mini review of this, along with To All the Boys I've Ever Loved by Juhina. So I'm basically doing 2 contemporaries per review from my top 15, because, you know, there are a lot of books, and I want to review every single one of my top lists that I've made on my YouTube channel. The next book that I read is another one on my top, you know, anticipated list, and it's Better Off Friends by Elizabeth Eilberg. I read this book 3 stars. To be honest, I actually said 3.5, but now that I think about it, it might drop to 3. I did enjoy it, but it felt a bit middle grade-ish, a bit childish in the writing. And yes, I already filmed a mini review of this one, and I will upload it as soon as I can. Next book is another one on my contemporary top list of anticipated books. I need a short acronym for this whole list, because I've said it so many times, and every single time it's like my top 15 contemporary alt lists that I'm anticipating, or my top most anticipated 15 contemporaries, or it's just a mouthful. So my top list, let's just call it top lists, top contemporary list. And it's The Museum of Intangible Things by Wendy Wonder. I also read this, obviously, since it's in my wrap-up, and I did a review with Better Off Friends that, again, I will hopefully upload soon. So I gave it 3.5 stars. It was a bit weird. It was a bit weird. And the synopsis was missing something big, and the synopsis gave too much away of things that only happened like halfway through the book. I just felt that. But anyways, again, my review, check it out. Another book that I read is My Life with the Walter Boys by Ali Novak. So if I knew about this book before I got the newsletter from Raincoast, this would have been on my top contemporary list, like for sure, because the synopsis just sounds so good, and I'll read it for you guys. Jackie Howard does not like surprises. Chaos is the enemy. The best way to get her successful, busy parents to notice her is to be perfect. The perfect look, the perfect grades, the perfect daughter, and then, surprise number 1. Jackie's family dies in a freak car accident. Surprise number 2. Jackie has to move cross-country to live with the Walters, her new guardians. Surprise number 3. The Walters have 12 sons. Well, 11, but Parker acts like a boy anyways. Jackie is now surrounded by the enemy, loud, dirty, annoying boys who have no concept of personal space. This just freaks me out, just reading about it. Okay, several of the oldest guys are flat out gorgeous, but still annoying. She's not stuck up or boring, no matter what they say. But proving it is another matter. How can she fit in and move on when she needs to keep her parents' memory alive by living up to the promise of perfect? So this isn't just, you know, fluffy contemporary. There's a lot of emotional scenes, and some that I actually teared up in, but I just love the whole cheaper by the dozen concept, yours, mine, and ours, you know, all those movies. I really like this concept. I found it to be a lot of fun. I actually read this in a single day, and this is definitely going on some memorable contemporary lists that I will have soon. Another book that I read is On the Fence by Casey West. I know, this book comes out in June or July. It's so far away, and I don't generally do this. I really needed a good contemporary, a contemporary that I would love, especially after some of the ones that I read that were meh. So I know Casey West, she's awesome, so I had to pick up On the Fence, and I did, and it was really enjoyable. It was cute at times. It was a bit hard to get into, but after that I really enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. Another book that I read is The Winner's Curse by Mary Rakoski. I know I mentioned that this book comes out in February, which is completely wrong. This book comes out March 4th, I think. I could still be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it comes out in March 4th. This book has so much hype around it. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is talking about it. The book blogging community as well as the booktubing community. And I read this, and initially it was really hard to get into. It's told from the third person POV or third person point of view, whatever. But I really found that hard because I don't like books that are told from that perspective. But after I got into the story, I really started to enjoy it, and the ending just blew me away. So I ended up giving it 4 stars. It's a really good book, but I just wish there wasn't so much hype around it, because A lot of people were disappointed, but I'm just telling you, it's an enjoyable book. It's not mind-blowing, but it's really good. So that's it, guys. Oh, no, that is not it. The book I'm currently reading is Circle of Ashes by Kate Turner, the second book in the Balefire series. And this is concerning my New Year resolution where I read one book a month and I'm done by April. It's February 27th. I still have not picked up the second book, but it's only like 200 pages, so I'm hoping to power through it tonight. No Teen Wolf for me tonight. And I'm hoping to power through that and finish it so that I will be done with like a total of 11 books. But that is it. These are all my books. Let me know if you guys have read any of those or if you're excited for any of these upcoming titles. And that is it. Have a nice day, guys. Look out for my March TBR. Bye!